family members. And yes, November 9th, big day when it comes to that fourth spot in the World Cup semi-final, because New Zealand versus Sri Lanka in Bengaluru is going to be a big match indeed. If New Zealand win, then they are all but through to the fourth spot. But it will then depend on 11th, how Pakistan fare against England. Now it is going to be very interesting because New Zealand's net run rate is 0.398. On the other hand, Pakistan is 0.0004. Now, the victory margin, if you have to look at it, if New Zealand beat Sri Lanka by 1 run, then Pakistan will have to beat England by a victory margin of 131 runs. But if New Zealand beat Sri Lanka by 70 runs or by 60 runs, then Pakistan will have to beat England by about 190, 200 runs. That is the margin that you're looking at. But unfortunately, the weather that is there in Bengaluru in today is not promising at all. The weather today, a yellow alert has been issued by the IMD in Bengaluru. Traditionally, heavy rains are going to follow from afternoon till evening. But if you've seen the last couple of days, if you've looked at the weather patterns in Bengaluru, traditionally it becomes cloudy at about the afternoon time. Then it becomes really dark around the evening time. And then it rains in the night. That is the weather pattern in Bengaluru at this point in time. So it becomes cloudy at around afternoon time. Then it becomes rainy by about evening, continues till the night. And that is why this match might be curtailed in a big way. Remember, Pakistan versus New Zealand, that game also, it rained later in the day. But because it was a day match, Pakistan luckily escaped. But now in the New Zealand-Sri Lanka game, perhaps there is no escape. There will be heavy rain from the evening time onwards. We have seen some visuals from Bengaluru that some parts of the city are flooded. However, morning time, no rain whatsoever. Evening, you will get rain in Bengaluru. So you are all set to get a truncated game today. What will happen then? If this match gets washed out, what will happen? New Zealand will end with 9 points. Then net run rate just does not come into the equation when it comes to Pakistan versus England. Pakistan just has to win. So the qualification scenario is, if New Zealand win versus Sri Lanka, they will then get to 10 points, and with a healthy net run rate, they will then have to ensure that Pakistan don't win against England. But if New Zealand lose and Pakistan win, then Pakistan will be the fourth team in the playoffs. And that means India versus Pakistan semi-final is well and truly on. That will happen on 16th November in Kolkata. If there is rain, each team gets 1 point. Then Pakistan just has to win by any margin against England to ensure they get to the fourth spot. If New Zealand win, then if it's by a margin of 1 run, then Pakistan will have to beat England by a margin of 131 runs. If New Zealand beat Sri Lanka by about 60, 70 runs, Pakistan will have to win by a margin of 190, 200 runs. That is how the net run rate is at this point in time. So, lot of permutations and combinations, a lot is at stake here in this World Cup encounter. Very well, you could have an India versus Pakistan semi-final on November 16th. If it's a washout, and Pakistan will be doubly motivated to ensure they get one over England. Remember, in this entire 30-year period, Pakistan have lost just once in the World Cup. They won in 1992, they lost in 2003, but recently in 2019, they did beat England. And it was by a small margin, but if the rain comes in Bengaluru and it's washed out, then margins just don't matter here. So, lot is at stake here. However, there could be one more googly on 10th. If Afghanistan beat South Africa, then Pakistan's woes might increase. But remember, Afghanistan's net run rate is so poor that they may just not get there. Even Afghanistan are in by a semi-final chance, mind you. Because if Afghanistan beats South Africa, Sri Lanka beat New Zealand, and England beat Pakistan, then Afghanistan go through as the fourth team. Yes, even after the loss to Australia, Afghanistan are still in with a chance. But looking at their net run rate situation and looking at how New Zealand's form, they might want to snap the winning streak. Looking at Pakistan's motivation, they will be very, very determined to ensure that they do not have any other slip ups. So, that is the current situation when we look at what is at stake here in this match. Sri Lanka versus New Zealand in Bengaluru today. Yellow alert predicted by the IMD in Bengaluru. Heavy rains around the evening time and night. You could see a truncated game, or you could see teams share 1 point each. It will be cloudy towards the afternoon time, around 2 p.m. onwards. Heavy rain is predicted, but looking at the trend, you will see heavy rain mostly in the evening period. So it is not good news for New Zealand then if that is the case. So New Zealand, yet again, before I come to the other news, let me tell you, if it's washed out, Pakistan just has to win. If Afghanistan want to stay in contention, the game must be washed out today or New Zealand should lose. They should beat South Africa and Pakistan must lose to England. That is what we are looking at this point in time. So, not good news all around for the teams. This is Kudrat Ka Nizam in operation, let me tell you, for Pakistan. So, if you are to look at the other news, today a legend retired. An Aussie legend retired at the age of 31. She trailblazed pioneering of success for the Aussies. She was one of the greatest ever players in Australia, Meg Lanning. Meg Lanning has announced her retirement at the age of 31 because of certain mental health issues, because she had given it her all. And she, in an emotional press conference, she stated, it has been a wonderful 13-year journey. At the age of 18, Meg Lanning came into the Australian setup, and boy, did she win World Cups for fun. Meg Lanning won the World Cup in 2012, then she won in 2014, then she won the ODI World Cup as well in 13, then she won it in 2022, and now she's recently won it. So 5 to 6 ICC events. That's the dominance of Meg Lanning in a way, and we congratulate her on what has been a stellar career, and truly one of the greatest ever that she's seen. She ensured that the Southern Stars, the Australian women's cricket team, have become the greatest sporting entity that we have in the modern era. These Australian women's cricketers are redefining greatness every single time, and that is why kudos to Meg Lanning for ensuring that she is one of the greatest, and she's made her team one of the greatest as well. You all think that Ricky Ponting's streak of 21 ODIs was legendary. Think again, Meg Lanning, 26 consecutive ODIs. That is greatness. And that's why when you look at it, truly one of the greats. We will miss her indeed. Now, talking about other sports, in the UEFA Champions League, Manchester United has suffered a big loss to Copenhagen, and it continues their woes wherein they are not doing well in the Premier League, they are not doing well any other time, and that's why Manchester United, the Reds, are really facing the blues. On the other hand, Arsenal, Real Madrid are also doing very well, but there's another shocker with Barcelona losing to Shakhtar Donetsk. So that's why it is not a good time if you are a Manchester United or a Barcelona fan in that sense. So today, this is the situation that we have. Indian cricket team, on the other hand, are also in Bengaluru, but today they have an off day. There is nothing planned in that sense. And yesterday, the Indian cricket team actually faced the Pacers. There was an extended net session for some of them, and that's why it was a very interesting session indeed. But next session will be on the 10th. Maybe on the 11th, they will have a press conference wherein they'll say what is the thing. And 12th, the final league game of the ICC ODI World Cup will happen. India versus the Netherlands. But by the 11th, you will see your fourth team. So today, it is all at stake here. India will be knowing who the fourth team is going to be. Will it be New Zealand? Will it be Afghanistan? Will it be Pakistan? These 3 days will give you a clear-cut picture. So, New Zealand, Sri Lanka today at the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru. So that is why let's see how it happens. Now I'll take some comments here. Weber, why do you think Australian women's cricket is at different level than other countries? Well, Weber, quite simply, if you put it the lack, you would want to say there is no difference between the Australia men's team and the Australia women's cricket team. The pay scale is almost the same. The pay scale, the facilities that are there is top notch. Australia, the facilities that are available of both the men and women is on the same level. The investment into the sport is also there. The pay is also there. And that is why Australia women's cricket team is one of the greatest in the business as compared to even the Australia men's team. We want to see good cricket, India versus New Zealand, not a fake reserve day rivalry. Tanmay Joshi, well, Tanmay Joshi, that we cannot help it. You would want to know that New Zealand are favorites to make it to the fourth spot, but at the same time, admit it. If Pakistan make it, you will have to see India versus Pakistan on November 16th in Kolkata, if that is the case. So, Saraj Chandra, yes, sir. Yesterday too, there was rain threat, but Indian team practice, so forecast may say rain, but it won't rain at times. But Saraj Chandra, yesterday night it rained. It poured in the night. And that is why you saw some parts of Bengaluru getting flooded in that sense. If I may add, which area was having an impact of rain, you may say Basavangudi in Bengaluru. So, of course, there are certain areas in Bengaluru which are rain shadowed. Some may not come at all. There may be no rain. Others may have rain. So, it's a very weird situation that is there. Coding Shiksha saying most likely rain will not come and Black Caps will meet India. I think New Zealand will beat and have an Australian-New Zealand final. You really think so? Maybe New Zealand might reach the semi-final. Agreed. New Zealand beating this Indian cricket team in Wankhede? I don't think so. I think you're going to see an India-Australia final and a repeat of 2003. Not for the result, just for the opposition. You will see an India versus Australia final and potentially India getting 20 years of revenge at this point in time. I have Saraj Chandra saying again, I haven't seen Pak play courageously any time at all. They depend on others and come to SF. Not really, Saraj Chandra. They did play very courageously in Bengaluru against New Zealand. But yes, they are always dependent on some other teams that are doing well. That is just the way they are. That is just how Pakistan cricket is. Accepted. But yeah, sometimes in the first half of the tournament, they didn't play courageously at all, except for the game against Sri Lanka. Against the lesser teams, they put on their A game, but against the big teams like Australia, India, they just develop cold feet. That's how Pakistan is at this point. What is the current weather in Bengaluru? Ansu is asking. Ansu, no rain at this point in time in Bengaluru, but rain is predicted towards the evening time. Yellow alert has been issued by the IMD. Traditionally, it is no rain in the morning. Afternoon also, it's no rain. Kind of, it gets cloudy by the afternoon time. And then in the evening onwards, it starts to rain. That's the trend that's been there in Bengaluru. So we hope that nothing happens. We get a truncated game at best. It's not a washout. If it's a washout, advantage Pakistan then for the semi-finals. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on Sports Today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Check out all the details there and join us. Okay, Ansu, final question. One more question. If Pak qualify, India versus Pakistan semi-final on November 16th, not on November 15th then. Thank you, folks, for all the comments. See you soon.